Hello and welcome to Square Raindrop. I'm Jo Wheeler.
The sun's there. How exciting, Jo. It's not reached us here yet. My friends have gone on a cruise. They've been out of Wi-Fi for a while. They got in touch this morning. Here we are. We've got to Seville. I sent them a message. The sky's still crying for you. It's been 3 days. There's been no
It
let
has
up.
been grim, hasn't it? I mean, the weekend, the headlines were, a month's worth of rain in 48 hours. And everybody went, yeah, we've heard it all before. But, did we make it?
We did in some places. We certainly did. There was an awful lot of rain. And I think what it was, Jo, is that the schools had decided to pack up for the summer. And that was what kicked all this off. I think without that, we'd have probably had blue sky and a nice day.
Well, yesterday, of course, that rain concentrated itself across kind of Northern Ireland, parts of Wales, Northern England. Two big sporting events on. There was the Open at Royal Liverpool and also the cricket at the Ashes. The Ashes at Old Trafford. You can tell how good I am at sport. Honestly, I could write it on the back of a matchbox and still have room for my address. So I had to learn that really carefully. And there I was thinking both events were going to be a complete washout and was telling the world about it. And then it was dry. And I was dry here as well. And I was expecting to be an absolute deluge. I'd got dead golf umbrellas everywhere, those that have been blown inside out before now. And I thought, okay, they're all going to get wet. So I'll just kind of stack them up and I can use them again and again and again. But it stayed dry all day. The rain stayed to the north of us. Yeah.
Where you were?
It was
really?
just to the north of us.
Wow, because obviously the Ashes
did they
have
not
any play at all. It was totally rained out. No, they didn't manage
I
to
do
get
feel
on with
better
a ball
about that.
once. So on the Sunday. See, there's a weird thing, isn't it, Jo? Because look, I'm not a massive sporting fan, but I do enjoy watching the odd game here and there. But when you forecast it to be a washout, you want it to be a washout for your reputation. But you don't necessarily want the game not to happen, but you really don't want it to happen because otherwise you got it wrong. So it's this weird conflicting kind of set of emotions
it would have been
going
mightily
on.
wrong. I mean, I knew that rain was there. I knew it was just literally a few miles north of Manchester, north of Liverpool. Yeah, I knew it was over parts of Wales, over Northern Ireland. I mean, I was sitting there thinking, honestly, this rain must be like a circling shark to these sports venues. Yeah, I mean, there's just this small oasis of dry weather. Why would you do that to me? When I'm sitting there going, it's going to be pretty much wet all day. And for many, it was.
Yes, it really was. I mean, here yesterday actually wasn't so bad. We had the odd light shower. I'm in Winchester, so right in the south. But then the rain's sinking south now, and we've just got that. It's miserable. It's grey. It's cloudy. It's drizzly. It's just not nice. Where did summer go? Huh, Jo? Is it coming back
not tomorrow? I don't think. But I mean, again, so woke up to absolute hacking down rain this morning. So it was the boots and the waterproof jacket to go and walk the dog. Walked outside, and the sun comes out, and I'm cooking. Absolutely cooking. I'm thinking, I wish I could just shed this jacket. I'll throw it away if it didn't have stuff in the pockets, because I am now so warm. And it's still like that now. So I'm hoping, got my fingers crossed, might be able to go and cut the lawn. But don't expect it to last because we've still got the jet stream a long way south, haven't we?
We do. So we've got the heat wave, obviously, over Europe, and then we're in the other bit. And never the twain will meet. So in the middle is where the jet stream is, just ensuring they're totally separated. So you can nearly touch the warmth, but it's just too far away to help us at all. And then we get another area of low pressure, and it's just there's just no end.
Certainly
Jo,
not
no
much change out of July. Possibly a change into August as high pressure starts to try to build from the southwest. There's a lot of mites there.
There are a lot of mites, and I think all we can really hang our hats on for August is that I do go away for a week in August. So
fantastic! I'm going to get the sunbeds out. Yeah, make the
payments. Without fail.
I have to say, so Saturday last gone. As part of this birthday, which keeps on giving, I think I'm into my 4th week of celebration now.
It's not really a birthday party then, really, is it? It's like
absolutely.
A birthday fiesta.
Just keep it going. So it was Ladies' Day at Market Raisin Races. And my friend Julia and I were going to dress up, in proper ladies. I'm a lady.
In proper ladies' clothes.
Obviously, the rest of the time I spend my jeans and boots. No, we were going to dress up like ladies, and we were going to go. I mean, there were some very good prizes for being the best dressed there. But then, of course, I looked at the weather and I went, Julia, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Let's be sensible. Go for the boots, go for the waterproofs. Well, we went there. It was busy. And there were these women and they're dressed in these cocktail dresses and fascinators, right? With like bin bags or, plastic things over the top. And they're wearing sandals, right? And these sandals are getting absolutely trashed. They're white and cream and, bare feet, and there's mud going up the back of their legs. And I'm just thinking, oh, that's just dismal. I wouldn't even have wanted to be a jockey yesterday. I mean, I did know before we got there that the rain was going to slacken off through the afternoon and then intensify around 5 o'clock. I'm going, we'll be gone by then. So it wasn't horrendous, and it was kind of warmish rain, but all these people dressed up, and I'm thinking, you are nuts. Honestly,
It reminds me of our old colleague, lovely Isabel Lang. She used to show me pictures of her kiddie winkles who used to go running, cross-country running. And sometimes they would do it in the worst of weather. And they would come out dressed. It would like they were bog monsters by the time I've now got this image of like her children as bog monsters, but with a fascinator.
I'm sure she'd appreciate that. Hi, Isabel. So yeah, things aren't really going to improve very much for the UK for the time being. Obviously, the weather is still fearsome down over southern Europe, but it's starting to shrink its way down really to focus on Greece and Turkey, and everywhere else is starting to slacken off a little bit with some really violent storms. Parts of northern Italy saw these hailstones that were 10 centimetres in diameter.
The thing about hailstones, Jo, is that like they come down here and they're like little round balls, but by the time they get to about 10 centimetres, they're normally several hailstones stuck together, and so that makes them even more vicious, because if you get hit on the head by a ball, that's pretty horrible. If you get hit on the head by this knobbly, gnarly old thing with spikes coming out of it, obviously that's going to do even more damage.
Absolutely. Well, apparently about 100 people were injured. Part of it was people slipping on them.
I'm not surprised.
Part of it was broken glass. These things.
Oh, of course. A lot of damaged cars as well. I went tornado spotting in the States once. Didn't see a single tornado, but I did see a lot of very damaged cars with lots of big hail holes in and cracked windscreens and things. So that wasn't ideal. So I could imagine how bad that was. But yeah, the heat's been something else. It is now shrinking, as you say, down towards sort of Greece and the Greek islands, and come the end of the week, it will be waning a little bit. So, I mean, it's been with us for nearly a month now. It's been crazy, ebbing and flowing, but it's always been an intense heat wave. And obviously now we've seen some wildfires spark off, and they've really hit the news because they've been affecting our tourists, essentially. That's
why. Absolutely. And again, both you and I have lived abroad, but I don't suppose you get too many fires in the desert, do you?
Not in the middle of the desert, no, not so many wildfires. In houses, yeah, usually caused by AC conditioners, though. So
nice.
Let's move on, maybe.
Well, I mean, so living in Portugal for almost 10 years, we used to get a lot of wildfires inland, but then they would also build an awful lot of fire breaks. You see, we don't really have these wildfires here, although I did notice the Manchester Moor was on fire for quite some time a couple of years ago. But we're not really that familiar with it. Where they are familiar with it, they put in these fire breaks, which tend to protect the most populated areas. But it seems with these, given the fact they were evacuating the hotels, that actually even those weren't safe.
Yeah, so when I was little, my parents used to take me on holiday to Corsica, and we used to watch the water bomber planes pick up water from the sea, take them over to the mountains and drop them. And that happened every year. It was really very common. But the fires stayed in the mountains. And that's what normally happens in Rhodes as well. The fires are in the mountains. But then they got really strong winds, and those winds just fanned the flames, and they sort of galloped down the hill and off to the populated areas. So obviously, fire breaks can only do so much anyway if you've got a really bad wildfire and a really strong wind. I don't know the exact conditions, but I have seen the area on the map where the worst of the fires are, and it's a strip. So it is like the winds have just gone, whoosh, there it is. So it's where the hotels are within that strip of land that we're seeing the worst conditions, and actually either side.
Well, of course, one of the reasons that the heat wave is subsiding is because the low pressure, which is actually over us at the moment, is starting to have some influence on those areas kind of around the Alps, northern Italy, down into eastern parts of Europe, and that's causing the winds to pick up. So in fact, as that high pressure is moving away, the winds pick up whilst there's a weather change, if you like, and that's going to fuel the fires.
Yeah, often around the edge of an area of high pressure, there's quite strong winds. Like in the middle, obviously, you think high pressure, nice day, blue sky, no problems. But around the edge of the high is where you get winds going, faster than you might expect. So yeah, as it moves away, that does make sense that the winds would pick up, obviously with pretty horrible consequences.
Absolutely. Well, all I can say at this stage is, obviously, if you want to know when the good weather for the UK is going to be, just contact us to find out when Steffi's on holiday, because that's when the sun will start to shine.
Exactly. But I'm not going to tell you when, because you might come and burgle my house.
Point. Yeah, but if you do want to contact us, it's
at Square Raindrop. Because Square Raindrop wouldn't fit. So that's on Twitter. We're also to be found on Facebook.
We've been spreading.
Instagram. We have.
And we've got an email address as well.
Like a little bird. We do. It's weather@squareraindrop.com.